This review is long overdue. I've been putting it off for so long. I bought a couple of materials before October. It was specifically for Inktober. I got myself a Copic Cow set just to see if I like it. Another batch of mixed media Canson XL paper because it's the paper I use for swatching my paint. And I also have a lot of other materials that I haven't reviewed that I got since then. But I have been so busy. So last October, like I said, I signed up for Inktober, even though I didn't really want to pursue it after I found out about the issues. But since I already announced it to my friends that I would, then I tried doing the 30-day, or was it 31? Can't remember. But I finished it, so it was great, the challenge. So most of these videos that I might be posting in the next few weeks or so have been recorded in 2020. It's just that last October I was lucky enough to find a job after looking for a good one for almost a year. And because of the job, I also went back to studying so I could better support the team. And recently I just graduated with 2 courses. So I received my digital diplomas. And now I have more free time. I didn't think I could survive the 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. work and study schedule that I did. But I'm glad that it's done. So today we're reviewing the Pebeo watercolors. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. So I first saw this in Dubai, but I wasn't sure if it was worth getting because I haven't seen anyone recommending this brand. But if you go check reviews on Amazon, it has a good enough rating, and most people tend to like it. But it's not like the ones you have for Winsor Newton, Daniel Smith, Magello. It's not like a brand that you have die-hard fans for, or of rather. So I have been using it for a couple of days, and I have mixed feelings about the set. You'll see why in a bit. I'll be rating Pebeo watercolor in terms of availability, pigment information, packaging, transparency, cost, and painting experience. In terms of availability, it's a 4 out of 5 for me. I don't know if it's readily available in the rest of the world, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of art stores with it. It's just that sometimes it's on sale, sometimes it's not, so I suggest that you get it while it's on sale. Also, I don't think you can get the individual tubes or pans from this. You probably need to buy a set because I also haven't seen a lot of art stores selling them individually. So the set I purchased has 24 colors. If you want me to read like the full set, I probably won't. You'll see it in the swatches anyway. So from the get-go, I was quite happy that I wouldn't lose the pigment information because it's stuck on the case. It's very easy to find. And it comes in a sturdy round corner, as you can see. From the packaging photo, you'd also think that the mixing wells are transparent and white. I thought that it would be sort of like ceramic or like more, I don't know, a different type of material, but then when you open it up, you'll see that it's made of plastic. So in terms of pigment information, it doesn't really say anywhere what sort of pigment they actually use. While they might have a star rating for maybe light fastness, not knowing the pigments is a warning sign because artist quality pigments always declare what type of pigments they use on their paints. So as far as pigment information goes, it's a 1 out of 5. So if you are planning to use this watercolor for, let's say, professional work and you're planning to sell the original, I just don't know if I can trust it, even if it does have the light fastness rating, because the pigment is not there, so you don't really know if the pigment that they use is a fugitive type of pigment. So there's that. But if you are going to use it for, let's say, just digital work where you print in from a scan or a photograph, then that's fine. Also, on a small print, it says it contains a biocidal product, MIT. So I'm thinking this is to prevent the growth of mold. I could be wrong though. And I don't know if it's toxic. So usually if it doesn't say non-toxic, then I would assume that it is also toxic. I'll move on to the packaging because this is what I hated the most. Like, I love how it's in a unique round case, but it's also quite difficult to open. I have this love-hate relationship with these kinds of packaging. The same way I hate opening like cookies, butter cookies, because they come in that kind of package. So you probably need something hard like a coin or a ruler to get it to open, but like I could live with that. And so when opening it, I found out that my brush was bent. My brush, like the tip of it was bent, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves. So I wouldn't say that this is like something that I would hate, because maybe some other like watercolor sets of Pebeo wouldn't come with a bent brush. Maybe I'm just not lucky. So that's quite sad. And I tried to put glue on it so I could reform it, but I felt like was permanent, so I had to cut it off eventually, which is really, really sad. But anyways, pretty cute. You put it together, like you screw it, and it's kind of like a rather large brush to use. I don't often use it because it's also not the best type of brush, but it does hold a lot of water. This set also comes with a rather cute masking fluid pen, but the masking fluid isn't that great. So you're probably better off using something like Schminke. And here you can see that the flow is not as good, and when you're trying to get it to dry, I don't know, I feel like I just don't know how long I'm supposed to let it stay, because it felt dry to me before I started painting on it. But then when I started to remove the masking fluid, it was just stuck on the paper. It was quite difficult to remove, and probably it's the worst one of all the masking fluids I've tried. Though I don't really use masking fluid a lot, but yeah, I don't recommend it. So going back to packaging, sorry I went off tangent. The walls were nice, and like I said, it's made of plastic. And then you have the half pans. The half pans were so difficult to just like open, because they have like this plastic lining and it's stuck to the pan itself. So I don't know, I own like 40 watercolor sets or more, and this has got to be the hardest one to open by far. I had to peel it off carefully because I didn't want to damage the pan itself. And after like doing this for 24 times, except for the white one, I think 23 times, I wanted to cry because my fingers hurt so much. I still remember it to this day. But anyway, so mixing wells are good, and the design of the packaging is attractive, and I think it's gonna last long. You shouldn't be worried about this getting damaged at all. You could bring it in, it can take a beating, but I'd probably give it a score of 2 out of 5. It's not a 0 because like after all that hassle, you can still use it at the end of the day. It's just that if they could just use paper and glue the ends like most of the pans that come today, why would you have to stick plastic on the pan itself? It's just not ideal, and it's probably going to be more eco-friendly too. But yeah, anyway, so I didn't want to give up on it, even though I didn't like the experience of opening it up. As far as transparency goes, I'll rate this a 5 out of 5. They're all mostly transparent. I thought I'd get more opaque colors, but really I was surprised that they're mostly transparent. Though I didn't like how shiny it could look at times. As for the cost, it's cheap, so it's a 4 out of 5. -1 because for the same price you can get a set that does have pigment information. Something like the student grade brand of White Knights, maybe? The Sonnet set? Not sure though, but I saw that was pretty good for 24 colors as well. And then you can get like a couple of higher end tubes and just mix them, and you can get the same range of colors. But to some people who don't care about pigment information, actual light fastness, and all that, and you want to try something with a round palette pre-made, go ahead and buy this, especially if it's on sale. So for a couple of days in October, I decided to try it out. I made a lot of paintings with it. I also used it with different types of media like wash and ink. I just wanted to see if I can love it. I wanted to see if it would perform really well, and surprisingly enough, it wasn't bad. However, it wasn't the best as well. It's not like the greatest experience I've ever had with watercolor. Like, if you had nothing else, it's bearable kind of feeling. It has very rich pigmentation when it comes to the colors, but I guess I couldn't get over how irritating it was to open it, so I already had my bias. But they mix well, the colors mix well, they also layer well. It's also quite cheap, and I can, like, because it's cheap, I could just use it without caring much about, like, if I mix the colors on top of the pans itself. And yeah, the brush also holds decent amount of water, like I said, but the bent edge really put me off. I think what I really enjoyed about this was the 4 wells in the middle, because it's so big. Like usually when you get those metal pans, they don't really have a lot of mixing area, so this one was a treat, and I could mix puddles of the same color and make really flat washes. When you mix it with whitewash, it helps to make thicker paint and a more even consistency, because like it sometimes has streaks. The plastic is thick enough that I don't think I'd damage it even if I have to scrub it clean, because like unlike porcelain or ceramics, which is something that I prefer nowadays when I'm using watercolor or ink, this is plastic, so it will stain. The colors will stain. You probably need to scrub it or use something stronger to remove the colors there. But the cover can also serve as another mixing area, but I probably wouldn't use it for that purpose because I don't like getting my lids dirty, especially if I have to put it over the pans because the water will drip. So I have to dry it, and I don't like that. All in all, I think the quality can be compared to a student grade brand. I wouldn't say it's an artist grade watercolor, pigment information aside. I don't think it's as smooth. The application on cheap paper can leave streaks of paint. It's like I said, it's very uneven, so you probably need to be patient when you have like cheaper watercolor paper. However, it's very easy to reactivate, and like you don't really need to spray it or anything before you can use the color. Like even just rubbing it a little bit would give you a very rich tone. And because of the way it's arranged, like this color wheel of sorts, you wouldn't have a problem of identifying what colors there are in the set. You don't need to look at a color chart and see that this is blue or purple or red, because sometimes watercolors can look dark, so you don't really know what color it has until you put it on paper. So which is nice because like you can mix from the color wheel, and it makes it easy to get the colors you really need. The watercolors didn't turn muddy, and even though I haven't really used it extensively, and I think I should be using it more, but like I guess I would say it's pretty good. Like overall, I really enjoyed it, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I just docked points because of the consistency of the paint. I just really don't enjoy using sticky paints. You know, the ones that feel like they're gonna bubble up, or they're made out of a mix of glue and paint. It's just not like, I don't like it. It's not nice. And I made a promise to myself that I'll stop buying art materials for now. Like I want to review all the ones I have before I splurge on any new set. So hopefully that'll provide me motivation to post more art material reviews. I do hope you found this informative and that you enjoyed it. And I wonder if you guys love coffee as much as I do. I know I'm not supposed to be drinking so much, but recently I discovered cold brew, and it has opened a new world for me. Cause like when I drink coffee, it irritates my throat. Now it's not as acidic like when you brew cold brew. So far, out of the brands I tried, I like UCC the most. As it's totally unrelated. But anyway, thanks for watching. And if you want to know what I'm up to, I'm trying to be more active on Instagram, so you can follow me there. And please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and sign up for alerts if you want to see more reviews. Thanks. Bye.